Good morning, guys. It's super bright outside, so I can't see myself in my camera at all. But welcome to classroom setup day 6. My name is Brianna and I am a third grade teacher. However, this is my first year in 3rd grade. I used to teach 4th grade, which is where putting forth effort comes from, but I'm moving down to 3rd grade so that I can teach all subjects and have my kids all day. And I like the curriculum a little bit better. I student taught 3rd grade, so I'm really excited. So I am setting up my new classroom, and I did just get asked to be the new robotics advisor. I do have my master's in STEM, so I'm super excited because I've been waiting for this moment. Like, the stuff I learned in college about Lego EV3s and different robots and things, it's awesome. It's just hard to find the time to fit it into the classroom. So I'm glad that I could do it through robotics. And my professor from High Point University is in charge of the whole thing. So knowing her style and doing all this with her before, I know exactly how it's gonna work. So I'm really comfortable. It's not like I'm going in blindsided, and I'm really excited. So yes, I'm going to head to Sheetz. I guess I'm going to try their coffee today. I don't know. We'll see what I decide. But I really liked the food I got from there yesterday, so I'm going to get that again. And it's 9:40 because I decided to sleep in today because I edited and had my video uploaded last night. So if you've missed my previous videos, click in the cards right now. Watch day 1 through day 5 before you watch this. That way you can see the whole process. All right, see you at school. First off, Sheetz coffee, more expensive than McDonald's, $1.99, and that's a large, and it doesn't look like a large, and it's disgusting. I made this last year. It's very similar to Pocketful of Primary. I know she's been talking a lot about copyright, but I mean, when you can create tables and things and you're inspired by something, I mean, it's not like I'm selling this. I'm just using it for my classroom. So I'm going to go make copies of these. This is what I put in my data binder, so I will show you that. So while I went to print, my custodian came in and made those tables the same height. And I mean, that works, but I totally talked to the teacher across the hall and she's going to swap with me, so it is going to match. We're just going to do that tomorrow when she's here. I did want to show you my data binder though. So I'm thinking about putting this whole thing on Teachers Pay Teachers. Let me know if you'd be interested. I would just have to change part of it. So I made this cover. And I have all of my extra pages here. So I obviously only collected math data last year since I was a math teacher. So I made this sheet for observations as I pulled my small groups. This whole page is for one student. So I have a spot for their name, spot for the date, what concept they're working on, how they feel about it, because sometimes they understand something, but they could seem hesitant about it, or sometimes they don't understand something at all, but they can do it really well. So I have high, medium, low, a spot for all my observations, and a spot for what I have them practice or work on our IXL math program, just so I can come back later and be like, how did you do on that? I have this printed front to back, and obviously I'm going to have to make something for reading, but it's probably going to be very similar. I really enjoyed doing this last year, and even if I didn't, which I didn't fill this out in class, I had a piece of notebook paper with me and I jotted down little notes, and then I would go back to this after school just to keep track of information. It was also a part of my professional development plan, PDP. I don't know if you guys have those. We have goals throughout the year. So Yep. And then this sheet, which I already showed you, is in each section. So I have a bunch of tabs here. I have a tab for every student, and I got the tabs that have the folders. So these are not like what I would typically go for. They're kind of obnoxious, but they were like the cheapest one that had the folder because what I put in the folder is the students' work. So when I pull them for small group, this binder is for the groups that I plan. I have a binder for groups that I don't plan and pull on the spot. So the little practice pages, or unless we're working on whiteboards, if I have something tangible, I put it in this folder. That way I can pull it out at conferences and say, this is what we've been working on. I also put in here previous tests and quizzes. If they were either really low or if they were a great improvement for that child, I keep all of that in here. So I'm going to print every kid's name for the tabs, but they have their folder, they have their data sheet, so their name is going to go here. And then, like I said, this is based off of Michelle's, so you can buy it on her TPT store. I just created my own template because it's tables on PowerPoint, and it's fostered to what I need, like benchmark scores, reading levels, math facts, BOG scores. So I'm going to keep track of all of their data here. I have a spot for notes. Last year I used this for notes from the previous teacher, just so I had that to look back on. And then behind that is the data sheet, and I've done that for every single student. I'm going to have to make a reading sheet to put behind this. And then all the way in the back, I have my county's tier 2 group plans. This is our intervention stuff that we have to do. So I will keep track of that in this binder as well. I also have a parent contact log. This I created. So this is what I would include in this binder bundle that I'm trying to create. I need to print a cover page for this, but my mentor gave me this idea and I really have liked it. So it's super important that you keep track of any contact you have with parents. That way you can go back on it in case you need the information for some reason. So on here, I might change this. I have phone, email, conference, note, and remind, because we do use remind as like the texting because it's faster than email. Date and time, reason, method of contact, and then any notes about that contact. And there is a place for the student name. So here, it's hard to see because the page protectors are in the way, but I have the alphabet tabs, and I have this organized by last name. So again, I haven't put any names on anything yet because I just want my final list first. So I have a contact page for the student. I'm going to put their name on it. And then they also get a page protector. And in this is where I'll put any notes that the parent actually sends in. Or like last year I had a student make a very naughty cootie catcher fortune teller. So I kept that in here as the evidence. That is what the page protector is for, and I love that idea. So every student gets their own contact log and a page protector, a place to store that. This is also where I would put, if I got notes from any of the enrichment teachers, like the art teacher would send like an oops slip. I would make a copy and keep that in here just as some more data. So this is kind of like more behavior focused and parent communication log. It's not all negative at all, but those are typically the things I put in here. So I will add this page to that bundle. Then I created this last year, but I didn't use it at all. But that's just because the year slipped away from me. But I definitely want to use this. So again, I need to make a cover page. But what this is for is more of when I pull groups on the spot. So if I'm teaching a math lesson and I walk around the room and jot down on a sticky note the kids I see struggling. Then I will pull them, make note here that this is the group I pulled, what we were working on, date. I don't necessarily need the time, but you know, whatever. I can put what class it's for, math, reading, whatever. And then just notes about how they did. My other binder is more intervention based. This is more kids who are struggling in the moment, but then may understand it a day later or something. So I'll put that page in there as well. All right, so I just made a lot of stops. I returned my partner teacher from last year, her tissue box that she let me use to bring books over here. I returned that to her room. I went to our like construction paper supply room and I picked up 6 green, 6 blue, 6 red, 6 yellowish. I might use my own yellow, but pieces of construction paper, and I sent them to be laminated. Then I'm going to cut them out in circles and put them up on my twister work wall. And while I brought those to the library, I picked up my other lamination. So I'm going to cut these out and put them on the black bins behind me. And I'm also going to cut out my calendar and get that hung up today. Well, I love the way that looks. What I was saying before my phone started ringing was I love how all of my labels are the same exact thing, but it's not too overpowering. That Friday one looks a tad crooked, but yeah, I really like it. Those squares are kind of huge, but that's okay. It's really, really labeled. The phone call was telling me my lamination is done, so I'm going to find something to make circles, to trace circles, and cut that. So I cut out all these circles. I ended up tracing the bottom of this popcorn bucket with a thick Sharpie. That way it would make it even bigger because it still didn't fill up the whole page, but I couldn't find anything else. So I outlined it in Sharpie really sloppily, and then I'm going to hang it up this way, obviously, so you can't see the black. But I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of masking tape on each of them so I could just lay them out on that board over there. I got 24 sheets laminated, but I only cut out 4 of each color for now. So I only have 16. I wanted to see how that looks first because I have room to hang work in the hallway as well, and I'm gonna switch it out throughout the year, so I didn't need enough for the whole class, but that's how the twister board is. So all the circles aren't the same size, but I think it gives it character. I like it. Now the question is, do I add the rest of the circles? The only thing is, if I add them, I have to go this way. Like, I have to take the green and put it all that way because I want it to be, this is a good height, I feel. So I'll just have to flip it all. And I think I might want to do that because if I don't, it's just a big space right here, and if I fit 2 more circles, it would be perfect. So I'm gonna go cut out the rest of the circles. All right, so here it is. I think I need to pull this down, or just maybe this one down a little bit, but I like it. I was thinking about putting a white border behind it, but that would be extra work. So I probably won't. I think it's cool, it's fun, and I like how the circles are all a little wonky. It gives it character. And of course, the air turns on. So I'm gonna pull these down. I can always tell so much better in the camera where it's straight and where it's not. I think I'm gonna go with that. That looks pretty good for eyeballing that whole thing. And then my title is going to go all up there. Perfect. I think I'm going to staple it. You can tell it's straight when you look from the side, and it looks so awesome. Okay, so I just did a staple on the top and a staple on the bottom, and I'm either going to put sticky clips on each of them on the top staple, or hot glue a clothespin. I haven't decided yet. I feel like since the circles are so small, the clothespin might overpower it. They do have mini clothespins though, but they probably won't hold up so well. So sticky clip might look better, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the words up. Oh yeah, so I stapled the top and bottom, and then they were on there pretty solid. Whichever ones were like a little bit flappy, I added some tape on the sides because I didn't want to staple it everywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the title up here now. So here's the part I made, Twist and Shout, and I looked at all the pre-cut letters I have, and I only have red and yellow. So I think I'm going to go to the die cut machine in our workroom and punch out Our Work Stands Out in really simple letters in black. That's what I'm gonna go do right now. All right, so I made my letters. They're just the block letters, so they're the most standard font we have with the die cut machine. And they're not laminated, but it's okay. So, Twist and Shout. I like how it's kind of like 2 layers, but I'm thinking I might have it go all the way across and then have this go all the way across underneath. So I'm going to pin Our Work Stands Out first across the middle and see how I feel about that. Pick up some of the letters, but I got it perfect. I think I can move out even a little bit more in, and then I'm going to put Twist and Shout in the center above that. All right, we got it. I still have to fix out a little bit, but it's up there, so I'm gonna staple it. I think it looks awesome. So cool, guys. Ta-da! It's really funny because these lights have a mind of their own, and the other day, that one right up there was burnt out. Now it's back on. Well, I'm working over here, so it really wanted to avoid the glare, so it decided to shut off on me today, just so we could have this beautiful workspace. Now, when work is hanging on it, it's gonna be a hot mess. But, you know, at least it looks good when nothing's on it. I just had another great idea. Since I don't want that bottom board to be wasted space, I think I'm going to put the math facts down there. So I have my huge numbers, which are the same as, I think these are KG blank space. They're the same as the ones up there. They're just white. And last year I wrote my students' names on them. All of the rest of them are over here, and they are covered in names. I have to wipe them off. They are laminated, so Sharpie's supposed to come off, but I'm using vis-a-vis markers this year. That way it's easier to wipe off next year. But I was going to find somewhere to store them or display them, and since that's the math wall, I think that would be really cute. Here is where I decided to put my calendar. It just stands out. It's easy for everyone to see no matter where they are in the room, and it's easy for the kids to reach because it is one of my jobs to put the numbers and things on. So I'm going to use my Velcro right now to put a dot of Velcro in each square. This cabinet here, yes, I'm still using popcorn buckets because why not? So I have like a little prize bucket thing that I use occasionally, a tape container, and this is all labels and Velcro and things, which I think I should probably put the Velcro in the tape container. That makes more sense. But this is my newest Velcro. However, I'm going to see, well, I only have the soft big ones, but maybe if I put the soft big ones on the calendar and then, I don't know. I also have squares, so we'll see what I decide to use here. I'm honestly so confused as to where my hard Velcro went. So what I'm going to do is put the big soft ones on the calendar, and then I'll probably just put little hard ones on the calendar pieces themselves, because I only have 5 total hard Velcros. I'm sorry if the air conditioning is buzzing. There's like 2 vents over here. So this is what it looks like with the Velcro dots, and I just noticed that this calendar has Saturday and Sunday over here, so that's going to be a tad confusing for the kids, but that's okay. So how I do my calendar, some people are probably going to think is a little odd, but I have a calendar person because they put up the date every day. It's the way that my cooperating teacher, when I student taught, did her calendar, and I loved it because you can just look over at the calendar and see what date it was because it was the last one that was up. So I'm gonna find my numbers and see what I could do. Another thing about Velcro that's kind of ironic and funny is Velcro, the company, I believe, I'll have to look into it, but someone emailed me about Velcro and they were like, hey, we'll send you some Velcro. Maybe I should look into that since I'm low on my supply. This calendar is just from the Target dollar spot, and it's so fun. Every month is themed. So cute. I love these. Oh my goodness. And then the numbers are very plain, which I like. And it comes with all of these days. Now here's my question. I got this part laminated because I didn't do that in the past, and I know it helps it last longer. Do you guys get all your numbers and everything laminated? Because I want it to last as long as it possibly can, especially since this isn't a themed calendar, so I can use it with different themes. I'm gonna poll Instagram. Oh my goodness. So, of course my mind is all over the place, but I just expoed and then Clorox wiped every single one of these numbers. They're not like completely clean, but that's the best they're gonna get, and I'm finally done. All right, so it's been a little bit. My camera is definitely in a different setting, so I'm sorry if this video has been weird, but I just noticed that. If you can tell, I hung up my numbers. So the kids have to learn 1 through 10. And now that I think about it, I wanted to check if other teachers have 0 up. Last year, I did not have 0. Those are my math fact numbers, and my partner teacher from last year was just in here, and she said, oh, so now you can have the kids write their names on them. And I was like, oh, that's such a cute idea. Have them choose their spot and write their name instead of me writing all their names. So since it's down below at their level, I'm gonna have them do that. And I'll probably put some kind of title thing here. Now, since I'm going to get my calendar pieces laminated before I do anything, because on my poll on Instagram, you guys said you do laminate all your pieces, so I just want to hold off on breaking them apart because I really do like this calendar. I am going to put my little Velcro pieces on my life board to get ready for my jobs. So this Velcro is on. I was so upset when I bought the little Velcro instead of the big one, but forgot that it is perfect for my jobs. I do have these in my TPT store, but they're with different clip art because I don't know if I can sell this clip art yet. Those are my life jobs. My twister board. You know what I love about classrooms that I see on Pinterest and Instagram is when every spot on the wall is filled, but it's not to a point where it's crazy. It's like there's no empty open space like this. Like you could use that space for something. I can use this space for something. So that is what I'm going for this year. I'm going to fix this shelf and handle my student supply area because I'm going to be switching these tables tomorrow. I'm switching with the teacher across the hall from me. I'm either going to have too dark or too light. Depends which one she wants, but they are lowered now. So I mean, even if we don't change at this point, I think this looks fine. Well, someone told me to cut these in half, so I did, and that was really painful on my fingers. I tried to find the paper cutter to use since the blade is stronger, but they both had like guards, so the eraser wouldn't fit where it had to be cut. So I had to do it with scissors, and that hurt a lot. So I am going to switch all of these erasers into my blue bin. These I bought from Big Lots and they just stack on top of each other. I'm setting this stuff up now, but I don't know exactly how I'm going to keep it. Or, I mean, I don't know. There's a lucky blue one in there. I don't know if I'm going to keep it this way. I think I might put these supplies in the kids' pencil boxes instead of having them all out here. But for now, until I figure that out, I'm just gonna store them over there. So these bins are from Big Lots as well. And I already have crayons, and those bottom containers used to hold colored pencils, but apparently all my colored pencils got demolished last year. So there's nothing in them. But then I have scissors, and these are labeled on the sides, but you can't even see it. So I have glue sticks, and I have erasers, which are, they might fit. If I can knock it out of place, awesome. They'll fit. I'll just have to lift up the shelf. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I guess, is how it's gonna go. I also don't know if I'm still going to use that system, but I have them, so I'm just gonna set them out. I decided to take these out. I just didn't like how it wasn't as pretty as last year, but I also like to keep a box of tissues on the top here, and I have lined paper, graph paper, and printer paper, just blank sheets. I think I'm also going to put out like sticky notes and note cards and different things in little bins across here. These are all my empty containers. So I have 4 of these purple ones that I could put across on that shelf that I might do. And then I'm going to put the pencil sharpener right here because there is an outlet behind those paper boxes, which will not be there. All right, so there's the pencil sharpener. I think I'm definitely going to get some like kind of placemat or little tray to put under it because it made a mess on my bookshelf last year and I don't want that again. So that's there. I'm thinking I might also put some centers things over here because this is going to be a table that the kids come to for centers. Now these I guess can go with the extra containers. And I think I'm going to open these up and just put them on the shelf. Even though those don't match anything, it's okay because my room is full of color. But those are so muted compared to the bright colors. That's okay. Now that I think of it, I'm pretty sure I'm going to put like counters, the yellow and red counters in one, except they'll fall through the cracks. I'll put dice in one, the ones in my little containers, something that kids gravitate towards the most. But maybe I won't use these because they have holes in them and they won't hold those manipulatives. But the other thing I was thinking was if I put all these materials, well, not these, but these materials in the kids' pencil cases, then I can put sticky notes, note cards, and things like that over here. So this is a nice little area full of supplies. Let's see what else we got here. This bin is going to be for tissues at open house, I believe. And then I can store supplies away in there, my extra supplies. So thinking about my centers, I feel like it would be really nice to have a bin of erasers because I did end up putting these are the facial sponges from Dollar Tree. They come 3-2 a pack. They're in like the beauty bath section. They're like hanging on a little wall thing. I bought enough for my students. Now I'm thinking I might get more to keep enough in keep one in their pencil case and then keep this container over here. Although they won't need this many. They'll just need like 6. So maybe I can buy 2 more packs and then just have 6 stay over in this area and have some expo markers over there for when they do centers. Because they are always grabbing for those. And I don't want them to bring their stuff from their pencil cases because then they'll leave it behind. Or they'll travel through centers with their pencil cases. I'm just gonna put expo markers in there for now until I decide. But yes, I did buy these new. I had my old ones for the past 2 years, and last year, along with my lap desks and popcorn stools, my kids just destroyed them. Thank you for that person in the comments that responded to people's comments about where my popcorn stools were. You are a true viewer. I don't want to call you a fan or just, I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. I just went through this box that had all extra supplies in it. And I'm not going to buy more erasers. I'm going to keep these big chunky erasers that the kids sometimes bring in, and I had a student bring in these as well over here. That way the kids don't get confused about which ones go in their pencil cases and which ones just stay in this area. I have big chunky whiteboard erasers, expo markers. I'm going to make a bin of sticky notes because I have so many, I have nowhere to store them. So I just need to start using them. I also had 2 packs of colored pencils, so I stocked 2 of those containers, and then I had 2 packs of crayons, so I threw away a lot of broken crayons. Actually, I had 3 packs of crayons. I threw away a lot of broken crayons, and then I added another container of new crayons. So now I have 12 packs over there. And this top here is like lost and found for crayons and colored pencils and markers. I don't need this. I don't know if I should keep this, but like sometimes you find a crayon on the floor and you don't know what to do with it, so there you go. These thingies are for the bottoms of the chairs. Luckily, I had extras from last year because these chairs around this table don't have them. And in this classroom, it's awful. So all of my other chairs have them. these chairs were just brought to my room, so I have them set out for it. I'm gonna need to find 2 more though. Well, I just added another box. I think I have enough for everyone's supplies. That is this whole table cleaned off, besides the little chair things. All that area is clean, and this is looking good. I really have to sit down and think about reading and math. I know for math, my kids will just need expos and erasers, but for reading, I have to think about how that's going to work. I just put their take-home folders right there for now because I'm going to need to set those out for open house. A lot of the other things that were out here, like the bubbles for open house, I put there. Their pencil cases, I'm going to give them for their writing folders, I put there. All of this, except for that container right there, which is vocabulary and math fact spinners, are empty boxes and containers. This pink one is what I use for mailboxes, so I may move it on top of there, or I'll just like keep it on the floor there where all those boxes are, just to have it out of the way, because it's not really something I go to every day, and I don't have, oh, that is a job though, so the kids will have to get to it. But I prefer that system instead of mailbox system, because that takes up so much less space and it's easier. It puts it right into the kids folder. I'm going to staple those into the wall because they're push pinned in right now. So I bought red pocket charts for my math board, but I'm going to run to Target someday and see if they have orange or green, because now that I'm thinking of it, that would look awesome on that board. And it's just so much red and that has so much color. So, okay, so I found a bunch of these little expo bottles, so I'm gonna fill this big one up and then see how much I have left. These highlighters, I'm going to go ahead and put in my guided reading caddy. Those highlighters are in there. I just threw that magnetic container up on there. I never use those things, but you know, I just like to gather all my magnetic things and hang them up where things are magnetic. Oh, by the way, my pink supply caddy right there, the one from the Target dollar spot, fell off the wall today. Like, the magnet was still on the board and the caddy fell off the magnet. Weird. My light switches have not fallen off since yesterday, so that's good. And for those of you that are wondering, this is not going to stay this way at all. This is going to be essentially a blank board ready to be used to teach on. But I just put all my magnetic things over there just to keep them out of the way. I fit 3 of these mini bottles inside this one. So now this one's nice and full. I think I'm just going to keep out this little one. I'm gonna put this behind my desk, because I also bought this last night at Walmart. Ugh! I don't want my air on, hang on. So I don't know what my air is doing, but we're just gonna let that be. It's 78 degrees in here and we're gonna embrace it. So I asked my kids for their supplies to get a 3-subject notebook. This is going to be for reading and writing. And now that I'm looking at it, this one's college ruled. It's supposed to be wide ruled. Good job, Brianna. I have this notebook that is going to be for science and social studies. So just a spiral notebook. I asked them to get a composition notebook for math. And it's supposed to be wide ruled, but I really liked this pattern, so I didn't get wide ruled. And then 2 folders. One is going to be for reading and math, science and social studies, and then they need to get a binder for writing. These are the numbers that I plan on using for my job cards. They are the ones that I made for last year. So I do have 2 sets of them because I did have 2 classes. So maybe I'll use the other set because I barely used it and these are a little messed up. But they're a little number, and good thing they have the hard Velcro on the back because I didn't even think of what if I did it wrong. And they will just pop right on just like that, and they are the perfect size. Oh my goodness. I just went through all of my drawer systems. I kept the whiteboard clipboards in the top drawer. So I didn't really talk about this, I don't think, but I moved these 2 caddies to this area since I pulled these desks backwards. There was a lot of room here and it saves so much space instead of putting them on the end here. So those 2 caddies are there. And then my table group of 5, obviously theirs is right here. That fits nicely there. And then this front table, I did the same thing. I put it on this side. So I need to bring a magic eraser to clean these caddies. I originally was going to spray paint them. I still might, I don't know. I guess it depends what they look like after I try to clean them. But people were asking me what I plan to store in them. I don't know if I was just calling them caddies. They're totally not caddies. But right now, the top one has my whiteboard clipboards. These are from Amazon. My school purchased these. Oh, this is such a clean one. This is what they look like. When you store them all together, they start chipping like regular. This is not a chip. Like regular whiteboards. If you store them separately, they will continue to look like this. These are from Amazon. My school purchased these for us last year. I have just enough for the whole table group in the top drawer. In the middle drawer, I was talking to my coworker and she said she puts like math manipulatives or anything they'll need for the activity that day, so I may use it for that. And then she says the bottom drawer, she puts the Chromebooks. And I think that's a great idea because instead of them, oh my goodness, having kids going to and from the Chromebook cart all day, they'll just get their Chromebooks in the morning, and when they're not using them, they'll go in that drawer, and then they'll just remember to charge them at the end of the day. But it'll be much better having the table captain pass them out to the table than having all the class go to the Chromebook cart. It's going to save so much space. My camera's about to die, so that's probably my cue to head out for the day. I am going to take this calendar home with me because clearly I'm not using it. I haven't contacted Oriental Trading yet. I'm going to see if I can return it because it's pretty obnoxious, but it has like the pop outs already came out, so I don't know if they'll take it. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. But I got so much accomplished today. I'm so happy with the room, but I've showed you the little places. It's looking so much better. Don't forget to subscribe to catch my next videos and give this video a thumbs up if you really enjoyed it. I got really messy today. And check out my other videos. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.